In 19th century Russia, an elite marriage proposal came with a strict set of rules. A proper suitor was expected to present a flawless public image and execute the ritual with total composure. So when Ivan Vasilyevich Lomov steps into his neighbor's parlor wearing a crisp tuxedo and carefully adjusting his white gloves, he looks exactly like a man ready to honor that social contract. But this character summary reveals a very different reality. Lomov is a 35-year-old hypochondriac suffering from heart palpitations and twitching limbs. He isn't driven by romance. He is looking for a practical, well-educated housekeeper to manage his daily life. The family he is visiting is operating on the exact same transactional wavelength. The father, Chubukov, desperately wants his 25-year-old daughter, Natalya, off his hands to secure her economic future and merge their wealth. Every person in that parlor is chasing their own material advantage. There is absolutely no genuine affection holding them together, which leaves their fragile social performance ready to shatter at the slightest provocation. Lomov tries to deliver his carefully rehearsed speech, but as he stumbles through the pleasantries, he casually drops a reference to his ownership of a border property called Oxen Meadows. Instantly, the polite parlor conversation evaporates. The focus shifts away from marriage and out to these quiet, muddy fields in the Russian countryside, as Natalya aggressively disputes his claim to the land. For the Russian landed gentry, a property boundary was a rigid marker of class superiority. Yielding even a useless strip of marshland felt like surrendering personal power. This study guide text focuses on the arguments over that land, highlighting a central legal irony. Under Russian property law, the practical administration of these neighboring estates would naturally merge once Lomov and Natalya married. A successful proposal would legally merge the plots into a single consolidated estate. But instead of finalizing the union, the two sides let their personal pride and greed violently push the deal apart. They are so desperate to prove they are right about who owns the dirt that they actively sabotage the marriage that would give both of them control over it. After a brief realization that she is actually rejecting a wealthy suitor, Natalya panics and drags Lomov back inside. She tries to reset the mood, but within seconds they lock horns over an even smaller issue: whose hunting dog is superior? These exam questions point out that the argument over the dogs, Guess and Squeezer, has nothing to do with the pets themselves. It is a pure status competition, a petty battle to establish dominance over the other person. The stress of this ridiculous debate wrecks Lomov's nervous system. His lips tremble, his right eyebrow twitches, his legs go numb as his heart races. Playwright Anton Chekhov uses these hunting dogs as the ultimate tipping point. If two wealthy elites can destroy their own future over a debate about an animal's jaw shape, it proves their refined societal masks are completely empty. The argument peaks with Lomov collapsing into an armchair, unconscious. Seeing him draped in that stiff, formal evening wear while entirely lacking physical control highlights the total absurdity of his situation. Chubukov realizes his only chance to marry off his daughter is slipping away. He panics, shouting for water and a doctor, terrified that the wealthy bachelor might die in his living room before the deal is done. In a desperate move to close the transaction, Chubukov decides to skip the formalities. As we see in this illustration, conflict is their default state, so Chubukov simply grabs the unconscious man's hand, shoves it into Natalya's, and declares them married. Lomov slowly regains consciousness, confused and stumbling. But the second he realizes what has happened, the happy couple immediately resumes screaming at each other about the hunting dogs. The marriage is secured, but absolutely nothing is resolved. The characters have trapped themselves in a lifelong contract built entirely on petty materialism, leaving them to argue over the exact same boundaries for the rest of their lives.